Hello there, good evening. Welcome to Look North, our top story tonight. Passengers face ongoing disruption to flights following the impact of yesterday's technical faults at air traffic control.
You could hear people on the phone to other family members asking if they could transfer some money across to them. People were kids that were crying, or people that were due to go to other places that had things booked.
We'll be live at Leeds Bradford Airport with the latest information. Also tonight, the Yorkshire charity leading the way to stop people who've been in prison from reoffending. The fancy fireworks and drone display blazing a trail for one happy couple from Bradford. And it's the way you say it, why Northern Trains has re-recorded the names of more than 30 stations.
Dodworth, and I'm from Cudworth.
But is it not Cudworth?
And it's not Cudworth.
And there have been times today where the skies have looked rather grey, but what about the rest of the week? Have we got some sunshine, have we got some rain? Probably a bit of both. I'll be back later in the programme with a look ahead.
Hello, it's lovely to be back with you this evening. I hope you're well. Holidaymakers from our region have faced a second day of disruption after the failure of the UK's air traffic control system. Many flights to and from Leeds Bradford Airport have been cancelled or delayed. Some passengers were forced to sleep on the terminal floor, while others face waits of several days to return home. Dave Edwards is at Leeds Bradford Airport for us this evening. Dave, this is not the end or the start of a holiday that people expect.
Yeah, absolutely, Amy. Yesterday's technical problems were fixed within about 3 hours or so, but the knock-on effects remain today. People are stuck, planes are in the wrong places. Here at Leeds Bradford, more than 10 flights have been cancelled today and others delayed. Of course, plenty of people from our region fly from Manchester as well. More than 60 flights were cancelled there today and plenty of others delayed as well. So for many, it's been a holiday to remember for the wrong reasons. Airports can be stressful places at the best of times, but on the August bank holiday, one of the busiest travel days of the year, this was the last thing passengers needed. Hundreds of flights cancelled or delayed, thousands of people scrambling to get home. Ian Smales from Wakefield is stuck in France with his wife and son. They were due to fly home to Leeds yesterday, took a 90-minute bus ride to Paris-Beauvais Airport and then found their flight was cancelled and the next one available was on Friday.
There were people in distress. You could hear people on the phone to other family members asking if they could transfer some money across to them. People were kids that were crying, or people that were due to go to other places. They had things booked, and yeah, the people that had been to Disneyland Paris, and kids crying, and just everywhere there was people just looking in shock, and everybody we spoke to just felt they were just left on their own.
The family are flying back to Glasgow tomorrow instead, and will then hire a car to get back to Yorkshire. Gaynor Thompson from Halifax is stuck in Rhodes with her husband and young son. They were due to fly tonight, but their flight's been cancelled too, so they've paid for another night at their hotel.
It's just more about keeping my 3-year-old entertained and happy, and as long as he feels happy while we're in our accommodation, then I feel quite happy that we're okay. I'd rather be stuck here at the hotel rather than stuck in an airport with him getting more distressed, which would then make me probably feel more anxious.
By cancelling these flights, yes, it's very disruptive to 20,000 people, but it also means that the airlines can restore their schedules so that hopefully for the next few days, and bear in mind they are going to be extremely busy, things will start calming down.
The National Air Traffic Service has apologised for what happened and says a thorough investigation is now underway to find the cause. Leeds-based airline Jet2 says it had no choice but to cancel flights yesterday and this morning, but customers due to travel from now on should go to the airport as normal unless told otherwise. They're adding extra flights to bring people home. Well, we've also heard from Katrina Harrison, whose family, including twins aged 1, spent the night here at Leeds Bradford last night after their flight was cancelled. She says all the shops sold out of food and drink. They had nowhere to sleep. They were cold, so a really difficult day for some families yesterday. So if your flight's cancelled, what are your rights? Well, your airline must either give you a refund or an alternative flight. You choose between the two. And if you're stuck at an airport, well, you're also entitled to food and drink and overnight accommodation. If your airline can't provide that, you can buy it yourself, keep the receipts and claim it back later. There's lots more information about all that on the BBC website. Meanwhile, the Transport Secretary has warned that this disruption to travel is likely to last for several more days.
Really stressful for families. Dave, thank you. Next tonight, a Yorkshire charity has been so successful at reducing the offending rates of people leaving prison, its method looks set to be rolled out nationally. Tempus Nova is based at Leeds Prison in Armley. It was set up by 2 former prison officers and has helped hundreds of people with criminal convictions into work. Currently, 47% of adults reoffend within a year of leaving prison. This rises to almost 57% for those who served a sentence of less than 12 months. But take a look at this. Only 4% of prisoners who go through the Tempus Nova scheme go on to reoffend. The charity doesn't get any funding, but it costs the government £46,000 to keep a prisoner in jail for a year. Beth Parsons has this report.
Richard is a fitter's mate. Today he's building ventilation units in Bradford. He's been in the job for 6 years. Shortly before that, he was released from prison.
I should have gone and got a job then, but I didn't. I was more worried about messing about with my friends. And I'm from an estate, you know, there's not a lot to do for kids. Well, they want, I don't know about now, but there's not a lot of stuff to do, so you just get mixed up with the wrong crowd, don't you?
He says he got little support after release.
Probation can only do so much, can't they? But they can't go out and get you a job, can they, or an interview.
Richard got in touch with the Leeds-based charity Tempus Nova. Founders Val and Steve had both worked around 30 years as prison officers previously.
After meeting these lads, thousands and thousands of them over the years, I used to say to them, you come into prison, you go into the hot, sweaty kitchens, you do 12-hour shifts, 6 days a week, why can't you do that on the out? And the stock answer I was receiving was, well, to be honest, I cannot get a job for love nor money because of my record. Hi everybody, you all right?
Hi, morning.
With a vacancy come up, and I'm just wondering if you've got anybody who's ready to go.
We've got quite a few to choose from, actually.
We went out to local employers and asked them, if we put a support package in place, would you be willing to take on an ex-offender? And we support them for 12 months, both yourselves and the lads and lasses themselves. And to our astonishment, we got quite a few positive feedbacks from that. And then we started placing people.
When you're working with ex-offenders, it's difficult to empathise with some types of crime. But when you see that the majority have actually ended up in crime through poor circumstances and a bad start, then most humans can empathise with that. And so I wanted to do something about it. There were a lot of money invested in training and education and other support networks, but nothing where a job was concerned.
The charity, which is based here at Leeds Prison, operates predominantly as pro bono or through donations. But a new partnership with Sheffield Hallam University is hoping to change that.
We're hoping to achieve 2 things. So one is to help Tempus Nova develop a sort of sustainable fee model. And the second goal is to help Tempus Nova to expand. So currently they have this Leeds operation, which is very successful. And in the medium term, they want to grow to 5 other places.
So the important part is these fire dampers.
Richard is one of nearly 900 ex-offenders that have been helped into work by the charity.
They got me an interview, they got me on the ladder, you know, they gave me a chance. That's what they did practically. Amazing, really. You don't have to look over your shoulder, you know. I can do what I want, you know. I can afford to do stuff. My kids are happy, my missus is happy, family's proud of me now, you know.
Any business would be proud to have somebody like Richard on board. He's just switched on and he wants it and he cares. As a business we care, but it's also important that our staff also care too.
We looked at the most recent 100 people we'd placed into employment, and 21 of them had been promoted. So it just shows by giving someone a chance who probably don't expect it, they pay you back big time with working hard and being loyal.
Beth Parsons, BBC Look North.
You're watching Monday's Look North, still to come on tonight's programme. Dogs on the beach. What do you think? Calls for comments as Scarborough looks to update dog control laws. But before that, redundancies at the collapsed retailer Wilco have been suspended as rescue bids for the store are considered. The chain employs an estimated 1,400 people at the head office and distribution centre in Worksop. Unions representing staff have met the administrators but warned that Wilco is not out of the woods yet. David Rhodes has been following the story for us. David, is this good news or just delaying the inevitable?
A small glimmer of hope today. So Wilco's has run into financial difficulty in the last couple of months. 12,000 jobs at risk across the country, 1,400 jobs, as you mentioned, at its headquarters in Worksop. There were a couple of bids on the table. They are being considered. The GMB union had real concerns, though, because staff were already being made redundant before those bids were fully considered. So they wrote to the government. The government haven't got involved directly, but what has happened is that PwC, the administrators, have said they will now pause the redundancy process to consider these bids in detail in the coming days.
As you said, it's a big employer in Worksop, but also in the retail stores right across our region. So what happens next?
So there are two bids on the table, we understand. One from a private equity firm called M2 Capital, the other from the current owner of HMV. That was a store that ran into financial difficulty a couple of months ago. No comment on whether those bids are going to be successful, but this is the problem that retail analysts say Wilco faces. There are parts of the company that are attractive to investors, such as its network of distribution centres, its logistics elements to the company. What isn't attractive is 400 retail stores. That is potentially a drag. The administrators, PwC, say they're working relentlessly to secure the sale of the retailer, and that talks are currently underway with a number of parties.
David, thank you. Now, did you go to Leeds Fest over the weekend? Well, as festival goers recover from the long weekend of partying, the clean-up operation is well underway. These were the sights at Bramham Park this morning, showing hundreds of discarded tents and items. Some items are salvaged for refugee charities. One volunteer involved in the clean-up has described the site as appalling, saying it's littering on the grandest scale he'd ever witnessed. We have contacted the Leeds Festival organisers for a response. A new mobile clinic has taken to the roads of West Yorkshire to test patients for liver disease. The team, which has been in Leeds today, will visit high-risk communities as part of an NHS drive to catch liver cancer early. While some patients will receive invites to attend, other drop-in appointments will be made available.
The earlier that we can make a diagnosis in liver disease, the earlier we can intervene, and that's really important because if we can intervene early, we stop people developing the major complications of liver disease. And by that time, it is a very difficult thing to treat.
Thousands of pounds worth of illegal tobacco and vapes have been seized in Huddersfield in an operation targeting businesses suspected of selling them to children. During the operation, police and trading standards officers seized 12,000 cigarettes, 4 kilograms of hand-rolling tobacco and 4,500 vapes with a retail value of £45,000. The operation was one of a number carried out in recent months in Kirklees to target businesses suspected of being involved in the illegal supply of products. Now, if you take your dog for regular walks to the beach, you'll be well aware of the rules and the restrictions that are in place. Well, in North Yorkshire, existing regulations are about to end. The council says that it's the perfect opportunity to update dog control laws, and to help them, they've opened a public consultation. Phil Connell can tell us more.
For many people and their dogs, the North Yorkshire coastline is the perfect place for a special walk. But in seaside towns like Scarborough, dogs can divide opinion. Dog fouling and areas where dogs can and can't go, subjects that get many hot under the collar.
We're staying at Filey and we love Filey, we come regularly, but there's hundreds of dogs.
When you're on holiday, you want to go on the beach, that's why we've come on holiday. to bring the dog. It's our family holiday, isn't it? And the dog is our family.
There's a big pile of poo bags up there, which is nice that they've picked it up, but not great that it's just been left.
When the children are around, and the dogs love to play, but it can be very scary for children.
The current laws concerning the control of dogs expire at the start of next year. And here in North Yorkshire, the council wants to ensure that any new legislation is relevant and fair to everyone. To achieve that, they've launched an 8-week consultation project and are urging people to contact the council with their views and opinions.
There's a lot of people who want to be able to exercise their dogs, and there's lots of people who are very concerned with young children particularly. But there's a lot of beach in North Yorkshire, so I'm sure that there's enough to go around, and we can make it so that there's some for people who want to exercise dogs and there's some for people who want to have a beach that's dog-free.
Before any laws are passed, the council says the public's views will be fully considered. And in Scarborough today, there were lots of ideas as to how the county's coastline should future manage our four-legged friends.
Probably to provide more bins would be a good idea. I wouldn't like to see them reduce the numbers of dog walking beaches though, because I think it will affect the area, it will affect tourism, it will affect people coming up here.
We're responsible dog owners, you know, if a dog messes on the beach, we're going to pick it up. Please consider us.
The public consultation is open until the 15th of October, a rare chance to help shape future laws as to how dogs are controlled in these popular places. Phil Connell, BBC Look North, Scarborough.
Now, Newby Hall has become known for lighting up the skies above North Yorkshire with the annual Fireworks Champions. And this weekend, there were certainly fireworks for a couple from Bradford. After months of secret planning with organisers, Rhys Whelan pulled off the most romantic proposal to his now fiancée, Megan Greenwood, by spelling out "Will you marry me" in the sky. We'll hear more from the Lovebirds in a moment, who joined us from their home in Bradford. But first, let's chat to Dan Pritchard, who took part in the competition with Blaze in Wakefield. He joins us in the studio. How was it on Saturday, Dan?
It was fantastic. It was a really great time getting out there, getting our display up in the sky and competing at the show.
So for firework displays businesses, how much planning goes into this?
Oh, it's hundreds of hours across the planning and preparation time, trying to make sure that each cue lines up at each point in the track that you want it to do so. In our show, we had over 1,000 fireworks, for example, and each one of those does a different thing that we want it to do at a different point in the show.
So loads of organisation, and also for you, Rhys, because months of planning went into the most romantic of proposals to your now fiancée Megan. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
Rhys, what gave you the idea to do this?
Well, I saw something on the TV of like when they're doing like the New Year's Eve celebrations and everything like that, and I saw a drone show take place there somewhere. And we always go to the Firework Championships in Newby Hall, and I saw on the website that they were doing a drone show this year. So I was planning on proposing anyway, but I thought I'd ask the question anyway, is there anything we can do via the drones? And they happily obliged. So I've got to give a big shout out to John and James at MLE Pyrotechnics and Drone Swarm. From start to finish, they were just amazing.
Oh, Megan, we can see your face there. Was this a complete surprise?
Absolutely.
And what was going through your mind?
I don't know. I don't know what was going through my mind. As soon as I heard the 6-word song come on during the performance, I looked at him. I don't know whether you've seen the video that's sort of circulating at the minute. I looked at him and I thought, that's strange. Is it just a coincidence? And then he sort of pushed me forward, and I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking right then. My mind just went blank, and I definitely felt myself start shaking. I know that much.
Oh, well, I have seen the video. We've all just seen it, and we're all in tears here in the studio. It was the most beautiful moment. Rhys, what was going through your mind? Because it's a big deal, is the proposal, isn't it? And you pulled it off.
Yeah, I was okay until maybe a good 15 minutes before the show, when I knew the time was about now. Then I just turned into a nervous wreck, really. Luckily, on the video, it didn't really come across as that. I managed to keep it all under wraps, fortunately.
Well, the stakes are now high for all proposals across Yorkshire. Megan, will you be having any drones at the wedding?
I mean, it'd be amazing, wouldn't it? We need to, I think we definitely need to start a wedding fund. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Well, congratulations to both of you and enjoy married life together.
Thank you very much.
And very quickly for you, Dan, how much of a big deal is this for fireworks companies?
So going into Firework Champions, it's a fantastic opportunity to try and win that title. If you win, you get invited back the next year to do a closing show when all bets are off, more pyro, more budget, more everything. So to be able to go in, compete and hopefully come back and win, that's fantastic. We're closing Ragley Hall on the 23rd of September after winning Weston Park last year as well.
Well, congratulations, brilliant. Thank you all for coming in. Oh, I do like a bit of romance on up north. Finally tonight, is it Cudworth or Cudworth? Slaithwaite or Slowit? Often locals can't even agree, and now a train operator has been caught out. Northern Rail has re-recorded 34 train station announcements after getting some of them wrong. This time, though, the company appealed for local residents to help them get it right. James Vincent can explain.
Welcome aboard this Northern Service to
Dodworth.
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 Welcome aboard this Northern Service to
Wombwell.
Not Wombwell.
No, Wombwell.
Don't get a place name wrong. First rule of journalism school. People hate it. But Northern Trains are going back to the recording studio because they got over 30 place names wrong. They've had to go and record them all over again.
This has come from our customers, basically pride in their own pronunciations. And yeah, I don't come from Yorkshire, so it's been a learning curve for me as well.
Even if you are from round here, you can still get it very wrong. Yeah, getting some Yorkshire place names can be tricky. Hello to people in Slathwaite.
Yeah, it's Slowit, mate.
Oh. And people in Sowerby
Bridge is how they say it.
Oh, sorry. And people in Thurnscoe as well. Hello to you.
Thurnscoe.
Blimey.
How did you get them wrong in the first place? Surely you need to be getting out there doing your research.
I think there's lots of different dialects. It's really, I mean, I started working for Northern a couple of years ago and just travelling in and out of work on my first trip into Leeds, pulled into what I thought was Slaithwaite and then heard Slowit and thought, wow.
Up the line, Dodworth has become Dodworth, but not everybody agrees. Dodworth. Interesting, because some people are telling me Dodworth.
Dodworth.
Dodworth, and I'm from Cudworth.
But is it not Cudworth?
And it's not Cudworth.
Oh, no.
BBC English, isn't it?
Well, I don't think I do that. How do you pronounce this village?
Oh, well, I say Dodworth.
And what?
But I'm not from around here.
People get annoyed enough at trains as it is, and getting the name of their town or village wrong, well, it's going to annoy them even more.
People get quite frustrated and annoyed. The pronunciation of the place names of where people come from is very dear to them, and it is a kind of shibboleth, a kind of password or code to show that you know that you're from the local area.
It's very important to get all place names right, and we do get told off by you if we get them wrong. I've probably got some wrong in this report, and if you want to complain, email me, Phil Bodmer, BBC Look North, Wombwell.
Funny enough, we've had a few complaints as well saying we've got the wrong reporter. Of course, that was a joke there. It was also, of course, James Vincent passing the buck to poor Phil Bodmer. Tell you what, though, it does get people going, doesn't it, when they pronounce the name of where they live wrong, and rightly so.
I got Cudworth wrong last week, so I got ticked off. I got an email to tell me, so it'll be Cudworth from now on, although that lady said Cudworth, so now I'm very confused.
Maybe you just have to do both.
Exactly, we'll repeat it every time. Right, the bank holiday, it wasn't too bad, was it? We saw a real mix of weather. We had some bright and breezy weather, as you can see from this picture taken at Penistone on Monday, and this picture, quite a lot of cloud yesterday in Silkstone, there you go, another mistake made. So it's been a real mixed bag, but it wasn't a washout, it wasn't a heat wave, and I think that's really what we can say for the rest of the week as well. It doesn't look too bad. There will be some fine weather to be squeezed out. You can keep your pictures coming in to the Weather Watchers page. You can tweet me, or I'm on Instagram as well. And so I think tomorrow is going to be a real mix of some sunny spells and quite a bit of dry and bright weather, but there will also be a few showers. And even though there won't be very many of them, there could be the odd sharp one, so there could be the odd heavy downpour here and there. And then a weather system waiting in the wings on Thursday. Shouldn't affect us too much during the day on Thursday, but it may well hang around through the day on Friday before it moves away. And I'll say it quietly, it could well be fine for next weekend. So we have had some showers, a little line of showers tracking southwards through the day, but they cleared away, leaving us with a pleasant afternoon. We've got plenty of sunshine out there at the moment, and it leads us into a fine night. So for most of us, it's going to be dry and fine with clear spells overnight. We might just see a few showers creeping into Pennine parts, particularly the Peak District, later on in the night and into tomorrow morning. Otherwise, it's dry and fine with clear spells. A cool night, temperatures down to around 8 or 9 degrees. Let's have a look at those tide times. 7 minutes past 4 in Scarborough and at around 10 to 4 in Whitby. So we'll start the day for most of us with plenty of sunshine. I think that cloud will bubble up and we will start to see a few showers cropping up here and there, but they will be very well scattered. You can see not many of them on the graphics, and there will be plenty of dry and fine weather in between. A bit of a breeze and temperatures lifting to around 18 or 19 degrees. 19 is 66 Fahrenheit. So looking further ahead into Thursday, plenty of dry and fine weather with some sunshine gradually clouding over through the afternoon. There may well be some rain later, and that rain could well linger through the day on Friday as well, Amy.
That better be right, Keely, or there will be some complaints.
Well, there's always complaints about the forecast. Nothing new there.
Thank you. Nice to see you again.
You too. Welcome back.
And nice to see you. Thank you. Nice to see you too. I'll be back tomorrow. I tell you what, the bank holiday weekend really did leave us spoilt for choice across Yorkshire, didn't it? There was loads going on. So here is our best bits compilation of Leeds Festival, the Yorkshire Balloon Fiesta at Castle Howard, and of course there was also a belting West Indian Carnival in Leeds. Enjoy and have a good evening.
Last minute, need an outfit, and then I seen this on the way through, so I thought, top it off.
I'm wearing myself, Joe Kabinski, the dressing gown.
Is togetherness, unity and enjoy. That's our celebration. That's all it's about.